Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 28th, and this is Devotions from St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm going to take a passage today from Matthew's Gospel. The disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom?" And Jesus called a child. And then he talks about that. So that's the part I'm going to read. This is from the 18th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a child, whom he put among them, and he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. If any of you put a stumbling block before one of these little ones who believe in me, it would be better for that one if a great millstone were fastened around his neck and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of stumbling blocks. Occasions for stumbling are bound to come, but woe to the one by whom the stumbling block comes." So who is the greatest? In Jesus' answers, it's clear. It's someone who is humble like a little child. That's not something we teach on a regular basis, humility, but it's what Jesus calls us to do. So let's think about some of the attributes of a child. And I'm going to extend just a little bit and think about it first in Jesus' time, and then try to think about it more today in our own time. I think in Jesus' time, children were almost like property. You had children because it was an honor to have children. And you read many times in the Bible, particularly about women who were not able to have children, and it was disgrace. So it was important to have children, but once you had them, you didn't hear much about them. They weren't around a lot with adults. They weren't welcome in that kind of a conversation, that kind of an environment. And yet Jesus said, you have to be humble like a child. So what did a child learn in that aspect? Well, I think they learned their place. And once they accept that, then they can live and thrive in that space, and they'll be humble. And that's what Jesus was pointing to. And I think that attribute was probably more common in Jesus' time than it is now. Now we see parents who do everything for their children and get them involved with all kinds of things and get them all kinds of activities and training, and they learn to think that that's what's supposed to happen. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say that, but I think a lot of it takes away the idea of humility that Jesus was pointing to. And you look at us today, and we respect the person who's aggressive, the person who goes and gets, the person who does things without being asked, but not necessarily the person that's humble. So I think this is an important lesson that we get from Jesus, that the child that he points to is a humble child, knows its place, respects its elders, and wants to do right by those elders. Now, part of that, the elders train that child. They teach him his place. And we do that today. And there's an awful lot of people that are teaching their children amazing things at very early ages. And I'm in awe of some of what I see, because I remember when my kids were that young, and we were happy that they would grow up and be healthy and play and talk and simple things. And there weren't the activities, not the level of activities that you see for young children today. So we have to be a little careful and listen to Jesus' words when we train and teach our children, so that a good part of that is humility. Now it says somewhere in the Bible, train a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from that. And I think that bears in mind here when we train children. Now, the next thing Jesus said, and maybe for us a very important thing, it is important that we teach children about Jesus, and we're told that that's a benefit to us to take one of these to Jesus. Let me quote so they get the exact words. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. We're told that this is one of those things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be like a child, and we're supposed to teach our children about Jesus. I think that's an ongoing, forever type of a thing. Most of my kids now are in their 40s, and I still talk to them about Jesus when I get a chance. And I think that's something I'm supposed to do. So as you go through your day, first think about how you are. Are you like a little child? But second, think about the children in your care. And are you teaching them right? And are you teaching them to have a relationship with Jesus? Because if you do that now when they're young, they will continue to do that as they grow and mature. The things we learn early are the things that we keep with us. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you will be able to help you and your children in their relationship with Jesus. Thank you.